Hey guys, this is Prelims Focus News discussion of 22nd and 23rd of November. Guys, I'm a bit late because since past few days I was like my health was not that good, so I couldn't upload that much videos in YouTube. So let's start videos without a first view, guys. So the first news was about Manipur Sangha festival. Guys, before starting is let me tell you what is Sangha. Alright, Sangha is basically the state animal of Manipur, and it is brown antlered deer which is found only in Manipur, that is being said by IUCN. So this Manipur Sangha festival is basically an annual cultural fest which is being organized in Manipur, and it is said that it is the grandest festival of the state, which will help Manipur to develop Manipur as a world-class tourism destination. Under this fest, they will showcase different fields like art and culture, handloom, handicrafts, indigenous sport, cuisine and music, and adventurous sports of the state, and also the state's classical dance form, that is Rash Leela, will also be showcased here, and various other folk dances like Kabui, Naga dance, bamboo dance, etc. will also be showcased in this Manipur Sangha Festival 2017. And the main aim of it is to promote Manipur as a world-class hub of tourist destination. All right, they just want to be developed Manipur as tourist place. That's why they are organizing this. Next is about Northeast Developmental Summit, which has been organized this time for the first time in Manipur, guys. For the first time, this is organized in Manipur from November 21, under which the main aim was to boost the trade and investment in the underdeveloped region of Northeast, and the various international financial agency will come forward and lay their plan, and whatever plan will be there which will be much suitable for the development of the whole northeastern region, those plan will be accepted by the government, and they will be given the project to develop Northeast as a Northeast overall region, right? And it is also being said that Northeast has a huge potential which is still unexplored, so there is a need for exploration, and for which this Northeastern Developmental Summit is organized. And main key focus areas for the summit will be trade and investment, connectivity and infrastructure development, tourism development of North India, and skill development, capacity building and entrepreneurship areas. Next is insolvency laws, guys. Now why was it in news? Because the bankruptcy and insolvency code which was brought up in 2016, it was many concerns were raised from different quarters that there is possibility of promoters getting back their control of the company under this insolvency process. So that's why government has set up this 14-member panel to identify and suggest that what are the ways through which this issues under insolvency and bankruptcy code 2016 could be addressed. All right, because the number of cases, earlier it was thought that the number of cases under this will be reduced, but the number of cases is also increasing. That's why the government has constitute this panel. Next news is about IMD World Talent Ranking 2017. It basically covers 63 countries and access various methodologies that countries use to attract and retain talent in their business, which is the need of any nation to thrive their economy, right? So that's why it is said that it accesses how countries perform in wide range of area. Those areas include education, apprenticeship, workplace training, language skills, cost of living, quality of living, and remuneration and tax rate, and the performance. Under this IMD World Talent Ranking 2017 performance, India has improved its ranking by 3 notches to 51 globally. Means earlier our position was 54 most probably, but now India has improved a bit. And again, since the condition of India, the ranking of India is getting improved, so those kind of institutions are getting very much important for prelims perspective, right? So we should remember it. And the countries like Switzerland, Denmark and Belgium remains the most competitive countries, and among the BRICS countries, guys, India is second from last. Means India's position is 51, and only Brazil is the country which is behind India. Otherwise all the countries are have better position than India. Let's consider the South Africa, it is in 48th position, China is in 40th position, and Russia is in 43rd position. And among different Asian economies, Singapore, Hong Kong and Taiwan to the top positions by attracting and retaining high skilled workers. And remember, guys, Taiwan has not been designated as a country yet by the United Nations, but under this IMD World Talent Ranking, these countries has been given there's various ranking. Anyways, next news is about BRICS Bank. And now why was it in news? Because for India and Russia, for $400 million has been given for the production of for this infrastructure and sustainable development project in these two countries. And it is being said that in India, Indira Gandhi canal system will be rehabilitated, because Indira Gandhi canal system has many years have gone and it is degrading, so it will be rehabilitated. And in Russia also a different project is being going on, which we don't need to remember, but again it will in Russia it will make toll transport corridor connecting Ufa city center to M5 federal highways. All right, and let's see about BRICS Bank, guys. It is a multilateral development bank which is operated by BRICS states, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. And the main aim, which are the projects in which BRICS Bank invest for the infrastructure and sustainable development projects in emerging economies as well as developing countries, in order to supplement their existing effort of multilateral and regional financial institutions. Say for example, there is a country who is not getting loan from World Bank, right? So what they will do, right? They must have the second option left. All right, so they'll go for BRICS Bank and they'll get money from there, right? So this is the work of the BRICS Bank, to give an alternative source through which the developing countries don't have to rely for those Western dominated World Bank and IMF. All right, so this BRICS Bank will do the work, right? And the Shanghai of this is in Shanghai, China. The headquarters is in Shanghai, China, and none of the countries will have veto power. None of these 5 countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, we will do, no countries have veto power, unlike the World Bank, in which the majority of the voters do have some sort of pseudo veto powers. So anyways, next news about India resolute on food security, guys. See, World WTO's ministerial conference is going to held this time, right? So India has decided that India will not agree to any kind of restrictions on India's right to give tight subsidies to its farmers or minimum support price to procure grains from the farmers. All right, because see, we are developing countries, right? And now the condition is not favorable for us to accept those conditions which are being imposed, which are being in rumor that developed countries will impose these kind of restrictions on us, because we are not in that position. Because every day you come across that farmers are getting suicided, and the conditions of farmers are deteriorating day by day. So under those conditions, we don't have any prospects that will accept whatever they say to us, right? So we will totally disagree to whatever they are going to bring forth in front of us, which are not conducive for us to incorporate in our actually farming infrastructure, right? So, and one more thing, in article it was said that presently peace clause is also in place, under which it was said that the developed countries will not force developing countries to reduce these subsidies and MSPs and all, right, in order for food security purposes of these developing and underdeveloped countries. So all right, so as the days will move on, then we'll get to know new news about it. But let's move on to another news. It is about BrahMos missile, guys. So see, the name is coming from 2 rivers. Actually, first river is Brahmaputra of India and Mokshva river of Russia, right? And it was in news because up till now, before this experiment, actually one experiment of BrahMos missile is done in Sukhoi 30 Mk1 combat jet, and it was totally successful, right? So before this experiment, only land and warship versions were tried, which were also successful. But since it has also got success, so it is being said that the defense capacity of India has got increased many folds, right? And it is a joint venture of DRDO of India and NPOM of Russia. And we don't need to learn about this, what this NPOM is, let it be. And the effective strike range of this BrahMos missile is 290 to 300 kilometers. Now next news about Chilika Lake. The news was because there is lakhs of migratory birds who have made their way to Chilika Lake, which is Asia's largest brackish water lagoon, guys. So that's why this was a news, and it is being said that those migratory birds are flying across Russia and China region, like Caspian Sea, Baikal Lake, all right, and the Siberian region, right? And they are taking place in, this migration is taking place in Nala Bana Bird Life Sanctuary, which is under the Chilika Lake only. And if you see about Chilika Lake, what is it? So it is basically the largest coastal lagoon in India and second largest coastal lagoon of the world, all right, and it is one of the most hotspot of the biodiversity of the country, and you should remember the point that it is the first Ramsar site of India, right? They can, I mean, in prelims they can ask these kind of points in handy, so we should remember everything, right? Now, next news about EBRD, that is European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The context of this news is Union Cabinet has approved the India's membership for this EBRD, all right, and the necessary steps are being initiated by Department of Economic Affairs, which is under the Ministry of Finance, in order to acquire this membership of EBRD. And it is being said that if we acquire the membership of EBRD, then India's international profile will increase manifold, and we will be able to, you know, promote our economic interest worldwide. All right, so that's why it was in news, and it has been said that it will open new vistas for India's professional on the one hand, and get a fillip to India's export on the other. Means everything will be you know, great. I mean, see, this is in news now, right? This has just been approved, but they have not given approval for India to become their member, right? When they will give their approval, then we will, you know, become formal members. It is just the approval that has been given by Cabinet of India, right? So that's why this was in news. Next news about a scheme of India Institute of Corporate Affairs. Basically, this was in news because Union Cabinet has given approval for the continuation of this scheme of India Institute of Corporate Affairs. All right, it was being said that it will run up till 2017-2018 only, but the 3 years extension has been given to this institute, and government is also giving a grant in aid of 18 crores so that it can, you know, sustain itself, right? Now, what is this Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, guys? It is a think tank and repository of data from which you know, various decision making can be made for policy makers. Also, it, you know, supports the government in various sort of decision making in the sectors like corporate laws, corporate governance, CSR, accounting standards, investors education, etc., right? Next news about 15th Finance Commission. Now, Union Cabinet has approved the setting of 15th Finance Commission under the Article 281 of the Constitution. Now, about all this, guys, I'll just request you to refer this book called M. Lakshmikant, right? Because there you will get a whole gist, I mean, each and every nook, you know, basic things about what this financial commission is, who constitute this financial commission, for how many years this financial constitution is being constituted, and what is the qualification of those members to become the, you know, member of this finance commission. So all the things are written in very lucid manner in that book, guys. I cannot explain all the things in a single video, guys, because it will take huge time, right? And we are just, you know, our aim is to, you know, minimize the video for 15 minutes only, so that, you know, the main things you get, what are the main issues being going on in news in a very short time frame, right? Because if you'll extend this time by manifold, then, you know, you will get yourself bored, right? So that's why this my aim is to mainly cover this within 15 minutes. So yeah, this was the news of these 2 dates, that is 22nd and 23rd of November. We'll meet in next class. Till then, bye bye, take care, and thank you for listening to me, guys. Thank you very much.